Hi, I'm Judy Shaw on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange along with Matt Kobach. And joining us today is Andrew Chamberlain. Andrew is the Chief Economist at Glassdoor. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here.
So today you released a report on the best places to work.
Yes,
for 2019.
Best places to work. This is the 11th time that we've announced the best place to work. What this list is supposed to be is the authentic, trusted voice of employees. It's from the people who know best what it's like to work inside companies, employees themselves. And so this year's winner is really interesting. It's a very diverse list. There's a little something for everybody in every industry. We've got retail, you've got manufacturing, you've got tech. And so these really are the places where they treat employees well and the companies perform well as a result.
What makes a company a best place to work?
Well, the secret for being a best place to work is not ping pong tables and video games.
It's not?
And believe it or not, it's not necessarily pay. There's really three common themes that we see for best places to work. So first is that they always have a mission-driven culture. They're bigger than a business. They have a mission that encourages them to impact a social good, not just a company. So that's first, mission. Second is career opportunities. Nobody wants to be in a dead-end job. So all of these great companies provide paths forward for people to thrive in their careers. And then finally, senior leadership. Employees want senior leaders who are transparent and who have the confidence of employees to be at the head of the helm. So those three are very common. All of these winners, though, they typically go beyond that. They often have great pay. You're working with top-notch talent, and people feel appreciated in their jobs.
Well, let's get down to brass tacks. Tell me some winners.
Some of the winners.
I want to know some winners. I want to know some, name names.
The top three winners really illustrate the diversity of where are the best places to work this year. So the top best place to work was not a tech company, which surprises many people. It was a consulting juggernaut, Bain & Company.
Okay.
So founded in 1973, they got locations in 30 countries. They have an entrepreneurial culture that trains employees. People report working with amazing talent at Bain, so they were America's best place to work this year.
Well, congratulations if you're watching and from Bain.
A second behind them was Zoom Communications, not necessarily a household name, an up-and-coming, fast-growing company. They've added employees and have grown to more than 1,000 people this year, so that qualified them to be on our large best place to work list for the first time.
Okay.
They're one of the few companies who was named as a small, medium-sized best place to work winner in the past. So they're a small, fast-growing place with great culture. They have a top CEO, Eric Wan, is very charismatic, really believes in delivering happiness is their mission. And I think that spills over. Happy employees lead to happy customers. So that's number two. And then number three on the list, In-N-Out Burger. So very diverse industry list. It's a little something for everybody.
Yeah, it would be tough to, if someone gave you those three company names, to say, what do these three companies have in common?
Yeah.
It might take a few guesses.
That's a good trivia night question.
That is. I'll use it next time I'm out with some friends.
Yeah, but even a place like In-N-Out surprises many people. In-N-Out Burger, it's a restaurant, fast food chain. But for people in that industry, the pay is good. They have good career opportunities. And they have a mission-driven culture where the CEO says they will never franchise, they'll never go public, they serve food that's always fresh and not frozen, and that limits their expansion. They won't open In-N-Out Burgers in places where they can't get the freshest and best ingredients. And so that leads to a lot of pride in what employees do. And I think you see it when you visit an In-N-Out. People love their jobs there.
It leads to a lot of pride. A little unfortunate for us who live here on the East Coast.
It's another excuse for you to come visit us in California.
Of course.
So how do you determine who makes the list?
So the list is based on employee feedback on Glassdoor over the last 12 months. Okay, so just because you've been a winner in the past doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a winner this year. So you have to maintain high standards and good employee satisfaction year after year after year. You have to have more than 1,000 employees to qualify for the large Best Places to Work winners list, and you have to have at least 75 reviews over the year. And that's it. So unlike many workplace lists, there is no pay-to-play for Glassdoor's Best Place to Work. There is no nomination process. Every company that has reviews on Glassdoor is eligible to be considered for the award. And so we use a data-driven algorithm, takes eight different data points from our reviews, crunches the numbers, and gives you the best place to work.
And that's it. There's no subjectivity. There's no someone it's not like the College Bowl series where they go, I don't know, look at their schedule.
Every year we're surprised. This year we had 31 newcomers to the list.
Wow.
Every year there's turnover, and we use a data-driven algorithm to surface the best winners to us. We definitely try to take subjectivity out of it to the extent that we can, and we use our research to show us what the factors should be that make a best place to work. So as the chief economist at Glassdoor, I do tons of research on what makes people happy at work, what matters and what doesn't matter, and we use that research to inform the algorithm that picks the best places to winners.
Who were a couple of the surprises?
I would say that there are some comeback stories this year. There's 16 companies who've won in the past who rejoined this year, which is always a surprise. Goldman Sachs was one of those companies. So Goldman Sachs last was named as the best place to work in 2012, and of course that was when the financial crisis was very near in the rearview mirror, and that they had gone through a lot of turmoil. They dropped off the list for a few years, but they seem to have been making investments in workplace culture. They rejoined the list this year, so that was something of a surprise. HP was a first-time winner ever. Also Omni Hotels. So several new names. So those are just a few of the big surprises.
Super cool. Let's talk about some of the companies. You already mentioned Zoom. Let's talk about T-Mobile. They have a very charismatic CEO. They made the list. Tell us about T-Mobile.
Yeah, so T-Mobile is a really interesting winner. So they have showed up as the best place to work in the past. The reason I think they're fascinating is because they're like a retail operation. Their employees are out in the field, spread throughout the country. It makes it really hard to have great company culture in an organization like that. So they've done an excellent job there. What we see in reviews for T-Mobile is that people really like career opportunities. People, rank and file people in the stores feel like they have room to move upward. And also when new stores open, there's spots for management roles. Also in the home office, like we hear stories of people switching teams, reinventing their careers. So people really like the internal mobility at a place like T-Mobile.
And what are the employees saying about their CEO, John Ledger?
John is a very funny and very charismatic person. And so he's done a great job rallying the troops of that very decentralized workforce out in those retail locations. I think that people really appreciate his transparency as a leader, communicating what's going on inside the company to rank and file workers. And he's known for going and visiting in person T-Mobile store locations, which I think really drives motivation among those people.
Absolutely. Let's talk about another big name CEO. We've got one of Elon's companies made the list.
Yes.
Which one was it? And tell us about the company.
So one of Elon Musk's companies, SpaceX, made the list. So SpaceX is a really unique company. People are fascinated with them just because of what they do. I mean, such high impact work, putting people into space. So the employees there really love the mission of that organization. Like, where else in the world can you go to work as an engineer and shoot people in a rocket? I mean,
one I can think of, NASA.
That's right, exactly. So unfortunately, government agencies are not eligible for best place to work with. So on our list, SpaceX is where it's at. So that's just a theme that we see consistently. People really love the culture and values of the organization. They feel like they're really making a difference. The one place where we see reviews suffer for SpaceX is work-life balance. People are really working hard. That was their lowest workplace rating. But just because people have low work-life balance, the research says that's not necessarily what always makes people happy at work. So I know people often are concerned with work-life balance, but when push comes to shove, we found in the research people are willing often to sacrifice that for a bigger mission, for a CEO they really believe in, for a job that they feel like is a great story for their career.
And it can't be any surprise when you accept a job at SpaceX that you're going to maybe be working more than 40 hours.
It literally is rocket science. So you expect to be working hard. Yeah, absolutely.
And they were the only aerospace company in the top 100.
They were.
So.
Yeah, they're alone in their field. And so, yeah, among industries, like by far the most common, as you might expect, was tech. Like 29 of the 100 best places to work were in the tech industry. No surprise, like the tech industry competes so intensely for talent that they have to have premium workplace culture just to get the people they need. But second behind them was healthcare, which I think would surprise many people. We had a record number of healthcare employers on the list this year. And like I think the economics of the healthcare industry are so solid. Like they're enjoying a wave of business as baby boomers retire, demanding more and more healthcare. Plus, healthcare is looking more like the tech industry. They're hiring software engineers, data scientists to try to deliver care more effectively and cut costs. So it's nice to see that employers in the healthcare space are appreciating the value of their people and are seeing that they cannot drive business results unless they have the great culture that attracts the talent.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It was great to learn about all these great companies that are on your list.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.